Right, let's buy hard. Now, we need to make sure that everything is working the way it's supposed to, of course. And it's not, because you are full. Okay. I didn't think about that. I should probably do something about that. Right. So to get lead, I'm going to need acetylene. Which wouldn't be too hard, except that in Pyanodon's hard mode, there is this annoying thing where to make... well, I can't get rid even of just the muddy sludge, which honestly is ridiculous. I don't understand why that would be the case, right? It's just dirty water. Just water mixed with dirt. Let me just dump it back into the river. But, well, you have to deal with that. So, ideally, I would go for the lead, but it's going to be a bit more effort, so I am going to start with the zinc, I think. Just to make things work a little bit faster. Now, there's not much use for zinc. The main use is just producing traffic bollard. Okay. Yeah, so that would give me plastic if I had simple circuit boards and duralumin and titanium. Yeah. Oh, and all of the iron is, of course, running out slowly. That's not ideal. This isn't going to last long, but at least I'm going to clean everything up. Now, for you, let's just make a copy. There. This is going to take... Oh, no. That's not the right side. Huh. This probably isn't going to be enough. But then again, I don't need that much, I think. Boom. Oh no. There, better. This should give me more than enough iron ore if I can feed it with enough coal, which I can't, I don't think. At the very least, I need to bring in more iron, coal. Oh. Not very happy about that. Okay. This is the dedicated line into... Let's do that. All the way into the steel production. There we go. And I also think it's a good idea to get started on making the engines. It's a bit of junk. Oh, I will need you. And still prioritize everything in the research. Engine, let's fill up with coke for now. I don't have that much though. It's okay. I do have long inserters now, so that should be fine. And if you build up to 100, that's going to be fine, I think. Not really a problem. We'll need belts. Oh, maybe all of the belts actually. I don't need so many inserters, but that's fine. I do have the light armor, so... Can I make the heavy armor yet? No. Where are you? Oh yeah, by science 1. No, no. Alright. That's okay. Oh, and I do have enough stone bricks to actually build some roads, I think. Well, that's going to make everything a little bit faster. Right. Everything else should be working fine. There's plenty of science. Maybe I could add more, although there's not that much science left without science, so it's probably not necessary. Right. Ooh. There's a lot of coal gas still in there. There. I did have a junk chest, right? That one is full. That one is full. So let's just drop off some of the stuff I'm carrying. I'm going to drop you into something useful there. Raw coal, sure. And so it's already a bit tricky to keep everything out of my inventory. Okay, you are doing fine. However, I think that there is a problem that I need to put the processed iron on both sides of the belt, maybe? So each of you produces 1.5. So 6 of you gives me 9, which is too much for one side, even if I ignore the coal. I do have the near inserters though, so let's just do that. Right, that should work fine. And speaking about which, I can also bring the processed iron to the other side of the belt. It's not going to make much of a difference, strictly speaking. Don't really need even more throughput. But I will get it on both sides of the belt, which is nice. Right. This should start as soon as I empty out the iron ore. There. Now, how is the ash looking? So this is draining out slowly. I do have plenty left on this belt. But the boiler should empty out soon enough. Oh. That's all the research for now. Okay, so let's go for biotech and get the rocks. Electrolysis does lead to shale oil development, which would allow me to turn shale oil into a useful fluid fuel. And it only requires a reformer, so that still needs simpler circuit boards. So I'm not going to be able to make that anyway. Actually, I did play a game where I only could research something that I can already build. That was interesting. Especially for Pyanodons. Yes, it really changed the dynamic of how everything works with... Oh, a recipe for carbolic oil from chitin. That's 100 middle oil gives me 100 carbolic oil and 50 naphthalene. The middle oil. Okay, so that would turn basically all the light oil into carbolic oil, and I would lose some naphthalene. I suspect that this is mainly there to give me a way to get rid of chitin. I don't think I really have any use for chitin right now. Okay, so the search doesn't work this way. Oh, that's fine. So if I look into chitin, you can atomize it later. That's going to be much later, though. Oh, no, I don't use it for 5 cents back. Geothermal water. That will be pretty nice. Because the atomizer takes 800 kilowatts. So this recipe should actually give me a lot more power out. So this is, well, not free power, really, but it's a decent amount. Of course, the atomizers aren't exactly cheap, but by the time I have all of this automated, they are going to be easy enough. And it's not easy to get there either, right? So we need to get to Aux and Favogay. But yeah, that's like 40 hours mark, right? Again, oh, it's fine. I think that you can make pretty much everything renewable, either from animals and plants or from infinite mines. There's also a specialty in Pyanodon's hard mode. So usually there are these big rocks, right? Like there's a tin rock, a big tin rock. And those would normally run out eventually. And not in PyHard, because that would be too easy. Because then you could just mine them out and build over them. Instead, they are completely indestructible. But it does mean that I have an infinite source of whatever material there is, of course. Throughput is a different thing. Muddy sludge, what am I going to do with you? I don't want the sand, and I don't want to make it from stone. How much concrete did I manage to make? Way too little, but I'm getting there. So now I'm able to make a single quenching tower. Which, what was it that it gives me? Yeah, the tailing. Alright, so there's a recipe that gets me tailings from... what was it? No. Yeah, tar quenching. So just turns tar into tailings, soot, flue gas, and saline water. Now I should have more than enough tar at this point. Yeah, tar is completely full. I can't really consume it fast enough. No, that would be pretty good, actually. But that's not going to be... I do need more of these quenching towers because I need them for the evaporators too. But yeah, that would get me to acid gas, as well as tiny amounts of titanium and tin ore. But the acid gas is mainly needed for sulfur, and then I need to make gunpowder. So that will finally give me access to weapons. In very small amounts, but weapons, yeah. Now, which way do I want to go with the main road? So I do still want to build everything around a road of some kind. Okay. It doesn't have to be entirely flat, or I probably will at some point move the middle of the base and just get it somewhere else so I can run the road straight through. There was something interesting, wasn't there? Yeah, lead rock. So maybe we'll get a look at that. And it does help to have at least some bus for the things like circuits, for example, right? So in Pyanodon, of course, you need a lot of materials to build anything. And it adds up pretty quickly. But for now, I'm just going to draw the line in the sand right through here. Maybe. Yeah, let's just do that. Now, I'm just going to start with just a double-sized. Right, so I want to go around there. Which does bring me right next to the single base. Can I kill a single base with no weapons whatsoever? Oh, I could make a car. That that might work, actually. Or I could make a few walls. I think these are normally a bit later in the game. So that might be unintended. I'm not sure. Probably not, actually. Okay. No, it is affected by Factorio, so maybe. Right. That didn't do what I wanted it to do. Oh. Okay, so that didn't work. I think it had the potential to work at least, though. Running on the stone bricks is of course much faster. Concrete is even better, but getting concrete in a decent amount is not going to be that easy, fortunately. Oh, that's not what I wanted to pick up. Oh, no. I'm not supposed to have the gun. Makes everything too easy, right? Okay. I didn't make all that many. Oh. Yeah. It's my only weapon. Don't really have much to choose from. Come on, not again. Hold on, hold on. It's not going to last much longer. Why does it have so much health? Oh, and it gets bonus health from... Come on! You can do it! Yes! Oh boy! Yep. That's definitely my first time dealing with biters using walls. Okay. But yeah, it worked. So that's my first nest destroyed. Maybe I'll be able to make this work better eventually. Right, so I need to throw these away again. It does make sense that you respawn with ammunition for the normal game, but PyHard should remove that. It gives you very simple access if you're not playing hardcore. Yo, I would usually just reload, but that doesn't work very well for recording. One more guy. But there might be a few still running around. Creature chambers. Okay, next one is here. I already went over. Now, Nexalit is going to be extremely important. But it's also very hard to mine. Now, that does need creatures. Can't just mine it with a miner. But it is one of the great things about Pyanodon is that you have so many different buildings, right? It's not just like, let's plop down this electric miner that you have from pretty much the start of the game, and that's it. In fact, before they added the research that needs you to unlock all electric miners, I usually didn't even bother making the burner miners. Now it does make sense again because you're not going to be able to do all the research and everything just working with one burner miner. Well, you can do it, it's just going to take a long time. Not really fun. The old way, you could actually rush everything. Okay, so that's the zinc. Oh no. Really? Oh, that nips that in the butt. I could deal with the worm, but I can't really get rid of a nest including 2 worms. Destroying the worms wouldn't be too hard, just using weapons, or just having any ammunition at all. So I guess I'll have to work on that anyway. So I guess that means I'm going to get into acetylene instead. And again, the problem with acetylene is that to get acetylene, you need to handle byproducts. And even though the byproduct is just carbon dioxide, in PyHard you can't even get rid of carbon dioxide. And this is one of the things I really love about Nullius. Because in Nullius, all of this makes perfect sense, right? Because you're trying to terraform a planet. That means that if you just waste everything, you know, like just put junk into the air, why do that when your goal is to make a planet that's perfectly nice and habitable for humans, right? Doesn't make any sense. In here, it's not so clear-cut. But anyway, to increase my consumption of moss, I will need to add more fastwood forestries and botanical nurseries. Now, I usually build these in a more tileable pattern, because you can put pretty much all of the ingredients, you know, just source them from the inside and build the whole thing like, yeah, this is the input for making moss and everything, and just put it all together. Which I think overall is the better approach. When there's no reason to build logistic systems, why deal with that? You don't have to create your own problems in Py. There's plenty to go around. There. Now, to make this work, we'll need to add trees. I still have a few, but not quite as many as I'd like. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to work on that. And 2 inserters are not going to be enough either. Oh, you have to be on one side of the belt. And of course this is not actually going to get much ash when everything is working the way it's supposed to. Maybe I should get that from somewhere else, but I'm not going to bother about that right now. That's just wasting time. Right, you can produce 0.8, so that's enough for as many of these as I need. Again, wouldn't be bad to make a design. It's at least reasonable. Right. Not the ash, as usual. Oh, no, you don't have ash because I'm fueling you with wood. That's good. Right. Power, water. That's it. And you also need the moss, and I need to get rid of the extra stuff. So I need to actually take the seedlings out. And with long-handed inserters, I can start building like this. Right. Yep. This should work. Well, no. Let's just get you where you're supposed to be, just to make things a little bit nicer. Right. Oh, no, I messed it up. Of course I have. There. Now you should be working. Good. So this should eat up all of the moss, almost. Or more than I have. So that should get the concrete going as soon as I add the trees I need here. I did put them in a box somewhere. Where's the box? There. Is it 15 or 10? 10. Okay. It still leaves me with one more set. Ooh, and you run out of fuel. Yeah. Drops are building up. That's nice. So again, I will use them for carbon dioxide if there's not already too much carbon dioxide, which there is going to be a lot of, right? Because I will need to produce lime, and a lot of lime at that. And I can't really get rid of the carbon dioxide. Well, one annoying thing is that it takes a long time for the game to give you a chance to do anything about it. So one thing is that it's complicated. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But having to deal with it manually for ages, that's very annoying. Okay, I wanted wood. Where's wood? Come on. Or I could use cellulose. Oh, yeah, that's completely silly. Alright. Let's take care of the petri dishes for a while. I did want to start making them into incubated petri dishes. No, that doesn't make sense, right. Okay. This one is almost full, but I'm not getting any steam. And I'm not getting any steam because, yeah, the electricity is actually pretty much topped out. And I'm not producing agar because there is not enough steam? Or what is it? Oh yeah, there's the check. Well, yeah. So not enough steam, not enough steam, not enough steam. I think it's time to start adding another column. I didn't want to deal with that right now, but I'm not going to get anywhere if I can't produce enough electricity anyway. Yeah. No, I haven't quite figured out how to build this up fully properly with the supply of coal. Now I can, of course, just use a lot of underground belts, and I'm probably going to do that just so that I have something working. I don't want to just stay around and staying around and waiting for everything to work out. As it is said, perfect is the worst enemy of good enough, right? Of course, there's also the thing that you don't really know what's good enough. Right, okay. It's not critical to position this right, of course, because none of this really matters. I can always just change the order of all the belts. If I wanted to. now I'm just going to go with another underground belt anyway. There. There's a bit too much ash in here. Again, are you filled up? No, you're not. Maybe I already need another one here. Oh, no, not you. There. That should help. First, it's going to put more strain on the suit separation, which can handle 120 per minute. And right now, I'm producing... yeah, still way below. So that should be fine. Once it gets through all of the backlog, that is. But there's quite a bit. Are you keeping up? You should be keeping up. Wouldn't be bad to add more. Right. Is the steam doing better? Not quite yet. No. And the 2 should be more than enough to handle all this ash. Oh, but... no, that's okay. Okay, so the coal ash is starting to build up a little bit. Might be a problem going forward. But I wanted to deal with this. There's so many things to do. And when things aren't fully automated, it can get a bit troublesome taking care of everything. Especially when you can't really notice when something goes wrong. There. Oh, you're completely full now. That's not bad. I don't think I need to make more trees right now. Unfortunately, I think that the sap cannot be composted anymore. Again, because that would be too easy, right? Yeah. It's very far completely. Yeah, out of the question, pretty much. Yeah, we'll need them for rocks, but that's completely... is that like a very easy part of everything. Nope, 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 nope. Oh, yeah. Latex. But again, that's not going to be a big part. Creamy latex is not the bottleneck. That's going to be very easy to deal with. Okay. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem, because normally I would be able to just compost this, which makes it very easy to make biomass with just by adding sap extractors. First, that would be too easy. Okay, now steam seems to be building up. I'm not sure what the other limiters are set to. Oh. Oh, that's the fuel pipe. The fuel pipe is empty. Interesting. I didn't expect that to happen. Oh, so there's a problem with ash, most likely. Yeah. Yeah, should I just bring the ash straight here? Where do you go? That's the ash, right? Yeah. Let's just bring it straight into the forestry build. See if that keeps up. Well, definitely not with the backlog though. That would be a bit too harsh. Of course, that's not going to save me for much longer. Oh, you ran out of fuel too. Yeah. So that's what I was talking about with the automation, right? It makes sense to do a lot of things manually while you still can't really automate them fully. But it does tend to catch up with you. Oh, something ate my fluid mining drill. Engine units. Very nice. Yeah, let's make more. I don't think I'm going to be in a situation where it's going to be like, oh no, I have too many engine units. As liquids become more important, I will need a lot more of the pumps, right? And there are, of course, other uses for engine units too. Oh, you're full. Because you're putting things on the wrong side of the belt. That makes sense. Oh, and you just go into a box, which is almost full anyway. Thought it's already sorted, but there's nothing on the other side of the belt. But okay, so this ash belt is completely full. Also, it doesn't have to be though. I'm not going to bother. Where should we stand spending my time right now? Right. Let's get you going in. Coke. All of you. Oh, you can use wood. That's okay. Right. You're almost out of ash. Interesting. That's working. You're not getting enough soil. Yeah, should I just rebuild this? It kind of sounds like I should rebuild this, right? But directly filling the soil into the machine would be better. Honestly, I don't think that I'm going to have any issue with building all of these though. So now I need to get the lead and these circuits and everything. Right. Was there any tin produced? Yes, there was. Okay. That's that at least. I don't think I have a better source of zinc anywhere nearby. So, let's get back into what I was originally planning to do. Oh, you're done too. That's good. So, is it the time to move everything? No. No. Focus. Lead. And concrete. If I added storage for the muddy sludge, that would also help a little bit. Because now I'm consuming 1.25 muddy sludge per second. It's not a whole lot. Right, but it is enough to get started on the tailings. And I should have all the tar I need. So let's start with the quenching tower. 0.5 megawatt, that should be fine. I'm not going to build anything big. I just need something that will be able to produce tiny amounts of ammunition. Ooh, and flue gas into ash. Alright, that will probably come in handy sooner or later. Now I do get a lot of materials out too, so flue gas is not going to be useful at all at this point. I'm not going to get to something useful soon, right? No, syngas is filtration 1, that's logistic science. Filtration, logistic science. Sulfur processing, logistic science. Phytoplankton, very far, Rayleigh, those are the improved recipes, so they're not going to be there anytime soon. So yeah, my only way of dealing with the flue gas is getting it into ash. Those things are starting to get a little bit annoying. Yeah, I did choose to play PyHard. It's all on me. Oh. Oh yeah, you're not getting any fuel. That's okay. Not a problem. Iron is building up in here. Yeah. It is starting to catch up with me, but I didn't build a proper system yet. Okay. It's water connected. Tar is flowing right down here. It's not going to be that easy to connect, but I also have it here, which might be better. Almost. There. That's loud. Right, and soot needs to go into soot handling. Doesn't really look like you're keeping up. Let me out in one. Because even if it's just going through the backlog, it seems to be a huge backlog. I could connect these through long-headed inserters. Yeah. Oh. There. Nothing to worry about. Something like that. Power. Okay. There. Yeah. Long-handed, long-handed, long-handed. Oh. Iron. Get soot in. Yeah, that's not going to keep up anymore, is it? Better? Yep. Still a lot of coal ash going in there. Or coal dust? Which one is it? I don't remember. But that's just getting turned into fuel. I could separate it sooner. Probably makes sense. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, so I don't need that logic there. Just get the coal dust out. There. There. That should help. And give me more steam. Well, as long as I can make more steam at least. But then again, if I can make any more steam, things are probably going to be okay. And of course, this could be done much better, but I'm not going to bother. Maybe I should bother at least a little bit. Let's do something like that. Oh no, that's not going to work. No way. Okay. There. That should work. This is going to be on the right side of the belt, and now you can work full time. Right. Lead. Do we have anything else? Yeah, there's copper and iron, and all of those should be handled. That should also increase my production of lead for short while at least. Although, yeah, that should be completely fine. Okay, good. Now back to you. Tailings, that's the main product. So that needs the evaporation, which gives me tailings dust. I don't think it needs anything else. Yeah, just tailings, alright. Maybe more like that. Right. Okay. Which gives me tailings dust and acid. 0.8 tailings per second. Yeah, so a single solid separator can take a lot of these. And it does give me a huge amount of coal dust, annoyingly. Which, you know, like, yeah, sure. That's good, kind of. It does give me a lot of useful materials. But it's also a bit annoying. Right, I'm going to put you right here for now, because this really should be very easy to handle, you know, even for just one of those. And the acid gas can go the other way. Take out the tailings dust. And that gives me coal dust, which I can just throw into the system right here. Even here, in fact, on the soot belt. That's fine. Dust. Go. It's a lot, though, but that's fine. And tin. And titanium, which is going to be my first titanium. But it's also going to be a very small amount. It's not really anything to write home about. Yeah. Good. There. How's the fuel for my steel forges? Foundries, let's say. Right. More concretes. And I will go with iron chests at least. These are not going to fill up anytime soon. This is just 0.1 per second or so from this production. Well, even less than that. But now I have acid gas, and I think that, well, the reason I'm making acid gas is to get sulfur. I think that's going to be the only use for it for a while now. Advanced oil processing. Yeah, production science picture. Filtration, I don't want to. Yeah, none of these are anytime soon. Sulfur processing, logistics science. That's going to be good. But by the time I'm in logistics science, things are going to look very different. And that's also an evaporation chamber, right? Yes. Oh, evaporation chamber. This isn't stationaries. Oh, and these take pumps, actually, so that's good. Okay, sulfur. There. And of course, the reason I want sulfur is for gunpowder. I can also use it to turn kerogen into tar. If I have too much sulfur, then why not? E-battery, that's far. The sulfurization, that's very far. Better recipes for gunpowder. Blast core, sulfuric acid, far. So this should be everything. Acid gas. No. Rubber. Yeah. Alright, but that's sulfur. Which I can just put in a box and use to make gunpowder, which will use up some of the saline water. I will need a lot of saline water. This is definitely not byproduct or waste product. Right, gunpowder. And it would be nice to have the coke go straight in here. And I will need coke anyway to make the acetylene, which I'm going to do somewhere around here. So bringing coke over would make sense. Of course, I don't have much coke production. So that's not going to be a problem anyway. And I'm not going to make anything automatically from the gunpowder. So it's a precious resource. Right. So 1 box for coke. 1 box for output. And let's get this saline water there. There. Flue gas. Guess I'll have to turn it into ash. This flue gas does have something useful in it, but it's not that easy to work with. Right. Zoology is very cool, and it would give me more slots in the inventory. I'm not going to make caravans this early on. Caravans are pretty cool though. I just don't like to deal with feeding them and everything, and they are quite slow, but yeah. I think I should use caravans. Makes sense. And then I could just do the electrolysis finally. Right. Carbolic oil, sure. Jerky is going to be my first healing food. That's going to be good. And I'm not going to be using much meat at the beginning, so that's a good use. Now, ash from flue gas. That was in the quenching tower. Yeah, so that worked out perfectly. No, I don't like deleting useful stuff like this. That's how it is. Okay, ash. You're going to need some help, right? More underground belts. Should probably start building those automatically. Okay, and for now, I'm just going to dump the ash straight in here. This should be able to keep up easily. And at least this means it's completely automated. At least for a while. Right, so now I should be getting gunpowder. There. Oh, I can't make firearms in my hand. I forgot about that. I do want shotguns anyway, shotgun shells. These are a lot more efficient overall. Especially for destroying bases. Firearm magazines are easier to use. Oh yeah, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a few of those just so I can pay back. Oh, not as fuel. There. Just so I can replace the ones that I accidentally shot. Right. And I do want to have some on me. case it becomes a problem. Do make a few for me, thank you. Right. So that's ammunition. Now I can actually make gun turrets. Automating this is a bit far, so I will need a lot of coke and a lot of acetylene to get the lead and everything. But I do have something to defend myself with. And again, I'm mainly going to want to be using the shotgun shells. There. 7 deaths already. Well, 6. Right. This is my 7th life. That's a bit crazy. They have been doing better in the past. Ooh, you can't even keep up with the ash. Interesting. Problem is I can't really add any more here. Ooh. Why am I adding both to the same side of the belt? Wait, that should be better. Alright. I would like to get the acetylene production going, but first I need to do something about the ash again. So this is going to be pretty much a full belt, and you don't have to be here. This belt is pretty much empty, and it's not going to get much worse, so that's what I'm going to do. And you're going to be the main source of ash here, right? In the meantime, nicely getting rid of all this ash. But still, it's taken a long time. I could make it faster, but that's not really important. Right, so this one is full now. Oh, is that the one I wanted to fill up? Okay. This one is doing pretty well, so let's get you there. Think. Nothing too complicated. And let's use the inserter offsets. Right. Do I have anywhere to put these lights? Yes, I do. Good. Yeah, and that cleared out the suit, finally. And the whole storage is gone too. That's also good. Now I'm not going to need this belt anymore, but that's okay. So, coke. Acetylene and coke. I will need a lot of raw coal. Unfortunately, I don't have any good way of making coke. The only way I can use is just using the raw coal. I could use wood, maybe. So you can turn wood into coal at a 1:1 ratio while producing very little coal gas and tar. And then I could just turn that into coke. That actually sounds pretty nice. I'm not going to be making any of these by hand, so let's pick up everything I need. Let's drop off some ash here. Oh, maybe like that. Right. Oh, you're full. So this hasn't been keeping up for a long time. It's mostly just because it needs to go on the other side of the belt at this point. So I do want to get rid of these anyway. Right, you are keeping up mostly. Okay. Yeah. The main problem with ash is just how much of it there is, right? Now, this gives me 2 coke per second. And it takes a lot to do that. Now, all 4 of these together give me 0.6 logs per second. Which is 3 wood per second. Some of that is drained off to replenish the saplings. But other than that, that means 3 wood per second. And this recipe takes slightly more than 3 wood per second. So that might not be too bad, actually. Now, it does produce net energy. It is worth it to change wood into coal if what you care about is energy. Of course, I also like using wood where I don't want to deal with ash. And when you turn it into coke, you get ash back again, right? Engines. Thank you. And let's make some more. It's a lot nicer than doing it by hand. Steam engines. Yeah, so if I had the caravans, they could be bringing all of this to me too. So they are very early logistic bots. But they're big, cumbersome, slow. All the usual things you can think of. Is there some problem with the copper? Am I just so low? Probably just low, right? Let's add another one. Of course, I will want to switch to copper processing when I get to it, but that needs circuits. I don't have circuits yet. Right. I also need you. Those went down quite quickly. Alright, but anyway, that's it for this episode at least. So, thanks for watching. Bye.